support Chris and Zach Attack by liking and sharing all of our content, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all your latest video game news and updates. Hello friends, it's Chris.
It's Zach.
And welcome to another episode of Chris and Zach Attack.
Attacking something. What are we attacking?
Oh, we're attacking Battlefront 2, baby. Once again, coming back.
The much maligned title.
Oh, the highly anticipated yet terribly disappointing Battlefront 2 is making it back into our newsways. I really need to put on a hat. Hang on. My hair is awful.
Look like a real chump.
See, I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what? I just want to have awful hair, so I'll just wear a hat to work all day. And I did, and I never really, fixed that.
I wore a hat too. I'll show you my hat. I'll grab it right now.
Go ahead. Go grab the hat. Zach is grabbing the hat. We're doing it live, baby. Doing it live here at twitch.tv/Sergeant Major Cool. You wore that all day? You seriously wore that all day? At Whole Foods?
At Whole Foods, yeah. This is what I wore all day.
So, sorry, we just gave away where Zach works, so everybody can go and beat him up. Beat him up.
Kick my ass at Whole Foods.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry, everybody. I work for this company right here. Hang on. I gotta do it. I work for that company right there. You'll never be able to find me. Sorry. I like it. Zach. Going for a new look.
All right.
I can't do this this promotion deal anymore, so I'm just gonna wear it like that.
No free advertisement, okay?
No free advertising, Monster Energy drinks.
Yes.
No free advertising whatsoever.
No free advertisement. Color red.
All right, so Battlefront 2 back in the news once again. This is more of an update because we kind of took last week off because of the holiday.
We were pretty busy. Basically, it was like we were reporting on all this stuff. All this stuff happened. The game came out, and then this is kind of like, okay, this is like the aftermath of the release and all this stuff, and what is kind of being done to change, what is like in planning stages and all that stuff. So this is where we're at. The game is out. It has like a 68 on Metacritic. It's not doing too well critically. Sales hasn't really come out how well it's done in sales because it just came out. So we're going to have to keep updated on sales to see if sales are good or bad on it.
So, yeah, absolutely. And so last time we reported on this, I reported it was the night before release that EA took out the microtransactions, took out the ability to buy loot boxes with real money, real life money, and they said that it was going to be coming back later on in its lifespan. We don't know when, and we don't know the details of how they're going to come back. People are speculating that they're not going to change at all, and it wouldn't really surprise me if they did or not.
No.
So, but what we do know here is what we're going to report on for the first thing is Belgium Gaming Commission have classified loot boxes as gambling.
Yes.
So
this is like that was the big thing with the ESRB. People were like, well, how come the ESRB is allowing loot boxes in games? Like, why isn't the ESRB taking a stance on it? And the ESRB basically said, well, we can't do anything about it because we're not a gambling commission. We can't say it's gambling or not because we actually don't have the authority to say that because we're just a ratings board. We're not like a gambling commission. We don't like give out like rulings like that. So it basically, they left it to a gambling, like any like country's gambling commission to say like, is it or isn't it? And Belgium is the first one to actually come forward and say that, yes, they are gambling. It is gambling. So this is kind of like the first step in maybe changing loot boxes, getting them banned, or giving them not banned, but regulated a little bit more.
Yeah, it is kind of the first step that they're taking for this. However, if you guys remember back a while ago, I can't remember which game was being investigated, but I think China was investigating a game that had loot boxes in it. I just can't
Yeah.
remember. Sadly, I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was Overwatch, but I don't think it was.
I think it was Overwatch or maybe like Hearthstone or one of those. They're like, yeah, they like it came up because yeah, because like China's super like they crack down on gambling. They're super strict on all that stuff. So they have to have like the percentages in China. In China, they and all the loot boxes have to have percentages on them. Like, okay, what are your percentages of getting like this versus this, and like the really good item? They have to have that in China because they're super strict over there. So they're kind of investigating. I think it might have been Overwatch or Hearthstone or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Um, but they were investigating it, and whatever game they were investigating, they released statistics on what you could get in the
Yeah,
game. Like you get 40% of your chances could be a skin, or a percentage of your chance could be something else, and it
yeah,
had like breakdowns of what your percentages are at getting
yeah,
something, and you were more than likely able to get one of these things in one of the crates.
yeah,
However, it doesn't appear that is that way with Battlefront 2, as it doesn't really have precise percentages. It is completely random, and that is exactly why Belgium Gaming Commission have classified this type of loot boxes as gambling.
yeah,
It's pretty much they want to ban or regulate these loot boxes if you do not know exactly what you're purchasing.
yeah.
Um, Also, to kind of go off on this, a state representative from Hawaii named Chris Lee wants to pass laws that either ban or regulate loot boxes.
Yeah.
So specifically, he's calling out Battlefront 2, labeling it as a Star Wars, quote, a Star Wars themed online casino designed to lure kids into spending money, end quote.
Yeah, that's a pretty. I like that. That's pretty straight to the point right there. I mean, just get them.
Yeah, yeah. He linked loot boxes to Joe Camel. If you guys don't know who Joe Camel is, he was a mascot for Camel cigarettes.
Back in like the 80s and 90s and stuff.
Yeah, he says, quote, "We didn't allow Joe Camel to encourage our kids to smoke cigarettes, and we shouldn't allow Star Wars to encourage our kids to gamble," end quote.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely right. I too take a stance on that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
if it's gambling, if you're in a game
yeah,
that has these types of loot boxes in it, you
yeah,
are seriously taking your money and throwing it into gambling. You're gambling your chances
yes,
to increase like the rate of progression for your character.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, the big thing is like with the loot boxes, and if they don't have percentages, like you don't know what you're getting, so you're essentially buying something completely random. That's like why people. I've seen some posts on Reddit. People are like, "Oh, like Magic the Gathering or like Pokemon card packs, like, oh, those are the original loot boxes." It's like, well, if you look at a pack of Magic cards and Pokemon cards, it's like your exact chances of getting like the certain things are listed out there for you right there. So it's like I know what I'm getting when I look at the pack. I don't know what I'm getting when I'm looking at a loot box, and that's the problem right there. That's like the gap they're trying to bridge with loot boxes and
Yep.
saying like, what are you getting? What are you knowingly getting yourself into with your own money with the loot boxes? They just want they want the developers and publishers to kind of open up and explain it more to the consumers instead of hiding loot boxes behind like this like behind like the covers and not really telling you what's in them, and maybe having the chances be completely just horrendous for you, and you're never going to get anything good.
Sorry, I'm super hungry. I realized I haven't eaten when I got home, so.
Right.
Got some rice snacks.
Whoa, what brand is that? I don't think they're not paying us.
Essential everyday. Cub Foods brand.
They used to pay us.
They did used to pay us, literally.
Yep.
So Yeah, I mean, like I said before, loot boxes are going to be making a return in Battlefront 2 in the future, as reported in EA's Twitter post from a couple weeks ago. People don't exactly know like what is in store. Like, there's no information at all if they're going to change it, if they're going to like lower the price of it. There's no change on what. There's no information on what they're going to do with these loot boxes. But I know people do not want anything to have anything to do with their progression.
No, I mean that's the thing. Like if they're really intrusive loot boxes, then people are still going to get upset about it. If it's just cosmetic stuff, again, cosmetic stuff, like we've been saying it on our YouTube channel, nobody cares about cosmetic loot boxes. That is fine. Who gives a shit? Cosmetic loot boxes are fine.
Yeah.
But when it affects progression and when characters are locked behind loot boxes, that's when you start getting a problem because it purposely slows down progression and it purposely extends the life of the game to hurt the player in the long run because you're going to have to grind the games for basically something you can just buy with money, which that's pretty bad for the player.
It is. It's incredibly bad for the player. Some player reports I've been reading on Reddit or YouTube or anything like that. Progression in this game is a very slow grind without the loot boxes. Gaining credits is a grind in itself. Credits are pretty much like the only currency that you can use in game right now to purchase player upgrades. You can still get loot boxes in this game. Like there's still ways in game to get loot boxes, and you get stuff from the loot boxes. But like I said, it's completely random. You have no idea what you're getting, and sometimes what you get is absolute shit.
Yeah.
Just this past weekend, there were huge amounts of lag and kind of rubber banding lag. So rubber banding lag is when you start out, you spawn, and you go forward, and all of a sudden you come back to where you started, and you go forward again, and you keep coming back.
So I mean, because obviously it's like the holiday weekend. People are going to be playing a lot, so like the player numbers are going to go way up because people are playing over the weekend.
Yep, absolutely. And there were huge amounts of this lag during the holiday weekend that people were very turned off, and they were very upset at the way that these servers have been handling.
Yeah.
However, because like even though the microtransactions are turned off, EA reported that it will not hurt their earnings either for the quarter or for the year. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, so they're still like saying we're gonna sell this many copies of the game, even without the microtransaction. We're still gonna make this much money, which, I mean, it's like you said, it's kind of misleading. We were discussing earlier. It's kind of misleading because it's kind of clickbaity. Like, oh, like if it doesn't affect their earnings, then why don't they just turn microtransactions off? Well, they've also released a couple other games this year. They're still counting on the microtransactions from their other games that factor into this year. I mean, and they're talking about DLC like Battlefront. I mean, Battlefield 1 has some DLC that was released, and people are buying that and all that stuff. So, I mean, they have Madden and FIFA in-game transactions and all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's not going to affect them because they still have so much to go on, but it might affect them like next year or their next financial quarter.
Yep, it might affect them coming out of next year.
Yeah.
However, yeah, like we said before, there was a video that released recently from our friends over at the What Culture Gaming channel, our friends across the pond.
Yep.
We've never met anybody at What Culture, but I call them my friends anyway.
But hey, we're all friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we open the video. Hello, friends.
Hi.
So yeah, our friends across the pond over at What Culture released a video that was pretty clickbaity. It was saying that the clickbait title said the microtransactions are not affecting Battlefield 2's like earnings, but that's not what they said in the video. What they said in the video was it's not affecting EA's yearly earnings or quarterly earnings. Yeah. It might affect their quarterly earnings as the first quarter of the fiscal year just started.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to affect their quarterly earnings, but their earnings for the entire year definitely not going to affect that.
I mean, they released like all their sports games, and those things sell like crazy every year they come out. So, I mean, they're like the highest selling games. So yeah, I mean, EA doesn't really. I mean, yeah, they're gonna like look at this microtransaction fiasco and all that stuff. But then again, it's like they're still releasing Madden, they're still releasing FIFA, they're still releasing all these games that sell like crazy every single year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they have microtransaction in those games too, and people are buying from the microtransaction in those games.
Still buying them.
The thing is Star Wars Battlefront 2 is such a small vocal minority in the EA franchising.
Yes.
That, I think the only other time that people like this have been pretty vocal was when Mass Effect Andromeda came out.
Yeah.
Like, people were very vocal about that game. People returned or stopped their pre-orders because of how it came out. And sure enough, it was a pretty shitty game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, because I've been seeing a lot online of Madden's been doing this to FIFA, the soccer video game, for years. They've been having really bad microtransactions, really bad in-game purchases and all that stuff, really unfair to the players, just really expensive loot boxes. They've been like messing with FIFA for a long time, and they haven't really said anything in FIFA, but now they're kind of starting to do what Battlefront 2 did. People are getting mad about FIFA like they are about Battlefront 2, and they're finally starting to say something. I think I saw something on Reddit saying that they're going to boycott the microtransactions in FIFA until something changes. So it's kind of just starting to like come out on a lot of these games that he's been doing this for a long time, and it's finally kind of like reached pop culture because it was in Star Wars. So now FIFA and all these other people are like, yeah, they've been doing this to us for years. Like, why haven't you guys said anything? So it's finally kind of starting to come out.
Yeah, it's finally starting to come out, especially now that Star Wars is involved, because now a petition is calling for Disney to end the exclusive contract that they have with EA to make Star Wars games.
Yes.
Do you still have that up on your phone?
Yeah, I'll check it right now.
Okay.
I just have it up.
So their goal is 35,000 signatures. Before we recorded, it was at 32,859, I believe.
So yeah, this is 5 o'clock Monday. Was it the 27th?
5 o'clock Pacific time.
Yeah, sorry, Pacific time. It currently has 33,386 signatures.
33,000. What's it again?
33,388. Because it's updated in real time on the site here, so it just keeps updating.
Yep, it's over on change.org. I'm sure if you Google...
just Google the petition.
Google petition EA
like Google
Star Wars.
EA petition. This is the first thing that pops up.
Yeah, we'll throw it in the YouTube description down below as well if you do want to sign it. I'm definitely going to sign it because...
It's already at 33,401.
33,401 as we speak. We'll check it at the end of the video too, just see where it's at. But yeah, it's definitely going to hit... I think it's going to hit 35 by the end of the night.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a big enough... No, it's not like a petition where you see like people like do all these petitions. Oh, we got 1,000 signatures. Oh, we got 2,000 signatures. It's like you're almost at 35,000 signatures. That's a lot of people signing this petition. That's not just a little petition. This is a big petition.
It's a very big petition, but at the same time, I think they should have went for a higher number, maybe 5,000 by the end of the month, 500,000 by the end of the month.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just like to get it started, to get the discussion started, saying like, look, Disney, like, people are upset of what EA has done to this game and what they're doing to your franchise. So if you keep giving it to EA, people are going to keep boycotting. They're going to keep getting upset, and in the long run, it's going to hurt Star Wars as a whole. So they're saying, Disney, maybe look some other places and like maybe give the franchise to like a company that actually cares about it and will actually give Star Wars the respect it deserves, instead of EA, who's basically dragging Star Wars down in the mud.
Yep. Don't give it to Valve though, because they can't count past 3. Or they can't count past 2.
They can't count past 2. So it'll just end up being a card game, because that's the only thing they can do.
Don't give it to Valve. Possibly give it to Activision Blizzard, because then we'll get World of Star Wars. Get Star Wars Galaxies again.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I don't know, but I mean, there's just so many other. I mean, like, I just read the article. What they're doing with Marvel, they give exclusive rights to Square Enix. So Square Enix They obviously Final Fantasy, and then they have the Eidos, Montreal, and Crystal Dynamics are the companies that did Deus Ex and Tomb Raider. That's a great company. They make quality games. And so far, they haven't had any like faux pas with loot boxes and all that stuff. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 was pretty well received. Tomb Raider was pretty well received. I mean, Deus Ex is like that did pretty well when it came out. So I mean, they're basically doing exclusive Marvel games. So I mean, people are excited about that because that's a good company to give your exclusive rights to.
Yeah, absolutely. If Square Enix give it to our Asian brothers, our Asian friends across the Pacific, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, and then Disney already has a working relationship with Square Enix because Kingdom Hearts. So I mean, Disney's like, well, we know you guys have a track record of making good games and giving our franchises respect, like you did with Kingdom Hearts. So yeah, we're going to give you Marvel, and you're going to make something cool out of that.
Yep. Give him Marvel, see how it runs, and then down the line take it away from EA and give him Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. It's like EA, they don't need Star Wars. It's like they don't deserve it.
No, they don't, because all they're doing right now is just trying to monetize it, and it's like, I mean, Star Wars is monetized enough.
That's the thing. Star Wars is a freaking like machine for monetization. There's anything you can think of has been Star Wars labeled somehow or branded.
I guarantee if you just slap the name Star Wars on a game, it'll sell hundreds of thousands of copies.
That's the thing right there. That's the whole like
except for this game
this.
Because of all the shit that's going on with it.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's like you could slap Star Wars on like just that's what they did with the first Battlefront. They basically slapped Star Wars on some half-assed first-person shooter and then called it Star Wars Battlefront. But I mean, the 2015 was half-assed. All they're asking for is like a slightly upgraded Battlefront, some more characters, a little bit more game types. Deliver that and you got a seller, but then they're messing it all up with all this shit.
We got a viewer on here asking us if we got attacked and if we need help, and to blink really fast if we need help. Do we need help, Zach?
I always need help.
Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought because I read that, but oh yeah, monetization. Yeah, absolutely. It's slap Star Wars on anything. It's on bounty, paper towels. It's on lunch boxes. It's on T-shirts, sweatshirts.
I was watching. It's on a fucking Nissan commercial with nothing. There's no cross promotion. It's basically just they put up the Star Wars logo and then they sell you a car. There's no cross promotion at all in these Nissan cars.
Yeah, it's just a monetizing machine. Like, just the fact that Star Wars this game right here from EA, Star Wars Battlefront 2, if you guys just made a good game, if you took out the microtransactions, if you didn't even include them and you just made a good game, boom, you have money for years. But what do we know?
Star Wars is known for?
What?
A lot of different costumes that the characters wear. So I mean, you could like make characters wear different costumes and have it like people maybe buy loot boxes where they could get costumes and like make their character look different. Yep. No, I guess not. That's too much to ask for.
No, I mean they say they're working on it, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
Wait and see. Hashtag wait and see. All right, so as much as I like to talk about Star Wars, let's talk about some more Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Get some other news. Get some other news in here. We'll check back with Battlefront 2 in a couple weeks. The Last Jedi coming out on December 15th, my birthday. Woo!
Yes, sir.
Gonna see it 5 million times that day.
Holy crap!
So, The Last Jedi has officially the longest runtime of all the Star Wars movies. How long is it running for, Zach?
It is 150 minutes long, or 2 hours and 30 minutes.
2 hours and 30 minutes long.
Yes, sir.
That's including all the credits, the openings, the logos, all the stuff.
Yeah, do you want to hear the rest of them? I got the other ones.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's go.
New Hope, 121. Empire, 124. Return of the Jedi, 132. Phantom Menace, 133. Attack of the Clones, 142. Revenge of the Sith, 140. Force Awakens, 135. Rogue One, 133.
What was the longest one before this?
That would be Attack of the Clones.
Really?
142.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I thought all of them were about 2 hours and 30 minutes long, but I guess it's a couple minutes off.
Yeah, I mean, you
It's not
kind of
that
see them get.
much.
They kind of get bloated with the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. They get a little bit bloated. They come back down with Force Awakens and Rogue One, and now I guess they're ballooning back up. It's 150 for this next one.
Well, good. I mean, the more Star Wars, the better.
I guess
Brandon,
Ryan
your
Johnson
cousin.
Ryan Johnson has a lot to say, apparently.
Ryan Johnson, we'll talk about him in just a second. Ellipsis says at work they put R2D2 on their cauliflower on the wrapping.
I hate it. I hate it already.
That's your cousin.
I hate that. Why would they do that? That just means that I'm going to get cauliflower at work that's going to have R2D2 on it. Why? There's freaking mandarins at work at Whole Foods. Mandarins. You look at the label, Star Wars mandarins. It's a fruit.
They should call it Mandalorians.
Mandalorian mandarins.
Mandalorian mandarins. But yeah, good for Star Wars. Having the longest runtime of the movie. Ryan Johnson, though, he's getting a lot of stuff. You know, we've already reported that they want him to make a new trilogy.
Yes. So haven't really talked about what the trilogy is going to be, just that he's heading up a new trilogy. I think they said he's going to write and direct the first one, and then he's going to hand off the duties of the other two to other people. I think that's how it's going.
The direction, at least.
Yes, the direction.
Oh no, the stream stuff is unstable. I think it's fine now. Yeah. So good stuff for Last Jedi. Definitely gonna be.
Just means that they're gonna keep shoving Star Wars down your throat every single year.
It's gonna be 87 on Metacritic.
Here's your Star Wars hole right here, and then this is what Disney's gonna do. Your Star Wars hole. Yeah, baby. Keep more Star Wars in there. Get it up there. Ah, Star Wars.
If that isn't a metaphor for something sexual, I don't know what it is.
You better love Star Wars because you're going to get it every year.
And our last bit of news, we have officially reached some actual other non-Star Wars news. Congratulations to the Nintendo Switch for being Time's Gadget of the Year.
Gadget of the Year, yeah, 2017 came out. Obviously, it came out this year, March. People were skeptical when it first came out. People were pretty skeptical, saying does Nintendo have it in them? Can they really deliver on a console that takes over and really changes the game? Well, they did it again.
Yeah, they absolutely did it again. They changed the game. They praised the Switch for its at-home and on-the-go usage, which is pretty good. So
yeah, I was reading an article. I can't remember where. Sorry, I'm gonna steal the source that I don't remember. They're basically saying
our apologies to the source.
Sorry, I feel bad because I don't remember. But they're saying that PlayStation might be in competition with Netflix, and then Nintendo's like, well, you know what? We're just gonna make a console that you can play while watching Netflix, so we don't have to compete with that. Yeah, seems like a pretty good idea. It's they're not even on the same level in competition anymore.
Yep, it's absolutely nice. I love it. It beat out the iPhone 10, the Microsoft Surface, and the Xbox One X.
Yeah, those are big releases this year. People were excited about those.
Those are big releases. Although they're saying the Xbox One X, it has a lot of power, but it doesn't have any games.
No games. Microsoft got to step up those exclusives.
They definitely do. I agree. But that's going to do it for this episode of Chris and Zach Attack.
Get your Star Wars hole ready.
Get that Star Wars hole. What's that from Always Sunny? What is that? Gotta pay the troll toll if you want Star Wars hole.
Gotta pay the troll toll. Yeah, you gotta pay the troll toll. We get that Star Wars hole. Maybe it is. Here we come. Disney's coming in like a freaking wrecking ball.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
There it is. Hey,
la, 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 la. Oh no, we just got 3 viewers. Sorry for wrapping up, everybody. Go check us out on youtube.com. Link in the info thing down below.
Yes.
Subscribe, comment,
Yes.
Like the video. Follow me on the Twitches there. Hit the follow button while you're here. I appreciate it if you do.
Lube up your Star Wars hole. Don't forget.
The Star Wars hole for the troll toll.
Better be lubed.
Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to check us out next time. I'm Chris. That's Zach. And yeah, bye.
Bye.
I said your line. Darn.
Bye. Bye.